3, 2, 1, let's iterate. Hi everybody, and welcome to another exciting edition of Boring JavaScript. I'm your host, the Virtual Wade, aka Mike Smith, and today we're going to talk about iterating over Nodelist. I'm not going to just show you one way of doing it and you're done. No, I'm going to show you 5 different ways that you can iterate over that Nodelist. The first 2 ways are old, ancient, and they've been around since the days of the dinosaurs. The last 3 ways are the new, modern, hip methods of doing it. And if you do those, you too can be the coolest kid on the block. You want to see all 5 of them? Let's get started. So let's first take a look at what we're trying to do. I have a web page here that within that web page there is a list, and that list for each item within that list has the type of animal and has the name of the animal. It also has a go button at the very top that when I press this go button, it's going to go through each one of the lists. It's going to grab each one of these LIs and it's going to count the number of animals that start with the letter C. In this case there's going to be 3, cat, cow, and coyote, and the number of animals in which there are 2 words to the name. In this case there's 4, I believe. Mr. Ed is 1, Wiley is another, Beep Beep is another, and Moby Dick is the 4th one. Yeah, so there's 4 of them there. And that will print out the results up here. So let's just very quickly take a look and see how that works. Let's go into code. I'm going to do a refresh just to make sure everything's okay. So when I click on go, sure enough the number of animals starts with C is 3 and the number of multi-word animals named are 4. So each one of these programs we'll show you here will do this particular function. What I want to show you here is how we're going to iterate over that particular node list. So let's get started with the first one. So the first method is the for looping on the node list. Here's my node list. A simple query selector all for all the LIs, and here is my for loop starting with index number 0, going for all the different animals, incrementing the animal index itself, and then of course I'm getting the actual animal from the node list. Now, why am I doing the for loop here instead of using for each or anything like that? Well, the reason is because Nodelist, although it looks like an array, is not an array. So all those wonderful for eaches and filters and reduce methods that you get with arrays are simply not available on Nodelist. So the only thing you can do is to use the for loop itself. So when you go to the program or the browser in this particular case and you take a look at it, let's just refresh here and then click on go, we get the answer as it is. So this is how you use the for loop to be able to go to iterate over a node list. But again, I said that's a very old and ancient way of doing it. Let's take a look at another way you can do it. So earlier I said you could not use for each, reduce, filter, or whatever, any of the array methods on a node list because it's not an array. But what if you could turn it into an array? Wouldn't that be wonderful? Well, let me show you how that can be done. Here is the magic. By calling the slice method on an empty array, and then by actually using the call method itself, which is available not only on the slice but on all different functions, I can pass to it an array-like object and it will turn it into an array. So here is my query selector all, which is a node list. It's an array-like object, and by passing it into the slice method here, it magically transforms it into an array. So now animal node list comes out as an array of LI elements. So I can just use the simple for each loop to do whatever I need to get done. So let's flip back over to our browser and let's click on go, and sure enough it works like a champ, which of course it's going to work like a champ. All these programs will work the exact same way. So that's how you could use the slice to turn your node list into an array. But again, this is an old, ancient method of doing it. I'm now going to show you 3 new, modern methods of being able to iterate over your array. Iterate over your node list. So the third way to iterate over the node list is the first of the more modern methods, and that is the for of construct. Again, here's my node list that I'm getting from my query selector all. the for-of construct will iterate through an array-like object. Now remember, earlier I said that Nodelist is an array-like object, not an array, but an array-like object. And so for-of was developed to be able to iterate that automatically. So here is my Nodelist, and the for-of basically says that go through each one of the different array-like elements within the list, in this case the node list here, and assign it to animal. So animal each time through this particular iteration will be one of the LIs on the list. Let's take a look and see how that works. Which again, of course, is going to work exactly the same way as all the rest of them does. If I click on go, oh, there it is. Yep, number of animals C is 3 and number of multi-word animals are 4. So that's how you use the for-of statement, which is a more modern way of being able to iterate over array-like objects like Nodelist. So the for-of worked a lot like the for. Well, is there an equivalent to the slice? Well, yes, there is, and that's the fourth way that I want to show you. That is the array.from method. Here is the magic right here. The array.from method will take as its argument an array-like structure like a node list and turn it automatically into an array. So just like the slice was two examples we had before, it will take my node list, magically turn it into an array just by calling that method, and I'll pass that into animal node list. And then I just use the for each loop to go through the animal node list. So let's take a look and see how that runs. Wow, ran the exact same way. Who would have thought it? So that is the fourth way of being able to iterate a node list. Simply turn it into an array by using array.from. So that's 4 methods down, 1 more to go. What's that fifth way to iterate over the node list? Well, again, it's to turn it into an array. Now, wait a minute, I know what you're saying. We just covered that with the array.from, right? Well, yes, we did, but this is a second way you can turn it into an array, and that is by using the spread operator. And I covered the spread operator in another boring JavaScript session, so make sure you go over and watch it. So I'm going to just change this code right here to use the spread operator. Now, what exactly is this going to do? Well, this is going to, again, take my node list right here, and by using the spread operator, which is the 3 dots at the very beginning here, it will spread out each of those different elements of the node list into individual arguments. And since I have now encapsulated it within the square brackets, that basically is the way you initialize an array. So I, in a sense, have a 9 argument array here that I am going to pass into animal node list. So this is, by using the spread operator, I have now turned my node list into an array. So I can now do the simple little for each. I can then go over to my browser, and I wonder if it's going to work the exact same way. It sure did. Wow, what a shock. So that is the fifth way to be able to iterate over a node list. Again, turn it into an array, but by using the spread operator to turn it into an array. So which one of these is best? I don't, honestly, I have no clue. Don't really know. It really depends upon your coding style and what you think is a little easier. Personally, I prefer the little spread operator here. It just looks nice. It looks nice and compact and convenient. But if somebody's not familiar with the spread operators or its equivalent, the rest operator, they could get a little bit confused by it. So if I was to give you a suggestion, I would go back to using the array.from method. Because first of all, it turns it into an array, and you have this ability to use all the different methods that are available to you in an array. And if somebody else is coming in here and looking at the code, by having array.from here, it's extremely obvious what is happening with that particular method. And so from a maintenance point of view, from an understandability point of view, I would personally go with array.from. Although I still like to use the spread operators. But to each their own, whatever works best for you, use that method. And that's all there is for iterating over node list. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope I didn't bore you to death. Please make sure to check out all of our videos at www.boringjavascript.com. Go to our YouTube channel and subscribe there, or check out our blog at blog.thevirtualoid.com. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you later.